You know, for decades, pretty much our entire search for life in the universe has been driven by one simple idea. It's a mantra, really, that has shaped everything from NASA missions to the telescopes we build. So let's get into it. Follow the water. It makes perfect sense, right? I mean, here on Earth, it's the one golden rule. From the deepest, darkest ocean trenches to the most scorching deserts, literally everywhere we find even a little bit of liquid water, we find life. It's been an unbelievably powerful guide for scientists. But here's the big question, the one that keeps astrobiologists up at night. What if that guiding principle is also a kind of cosmic blindfold? What if, by looking only for what we need, we're completely missing life that's thriving in ways we can barely imagine? It's a question that's forcing a major rethink of the whole search.
Now, to really understand why we might need to look beyond water, we first have to appreciate why we're so obsessed with it in the first place. Water isn't just wet. It has this incredible set of chemical superpowers that make it the perfect stage for life as we know it. It all kicks off with something called polarity. Basically, a water molecule is like a tiny little magnet with a slightly negative end and a slightly positive end. This imbalance makes it a fantastic solvent. It can dissolve all sorts of things like salts and sugars, creating the perfect chemical soup for the reactions of life to get going.
And that same little magnet-like property makes water, well, sticky. The molecules love to stick to each other. That's cohesion, which creates surface tension so strong that some insects can literally walk on water. And they love to stick to other things. That's adhesion, which is how plants can defy gravity and pull water from their roots all the way up to their highest leaves.
And finally, water is an amazing temperature regulator. It can soak up a ton of heat without its own temperature really changing that much. This is huge. It creates stable environments, protecting delicate organisms in oceans, lakes, and even inside our own bodies from dangerous temperature swings. Okay, so water is a rock star. We get it, but is it the only rock star in the universe? When you think about how vast and weird the cosmos is, assuming all life must play by our chemical rules starts to sound a little biased. Some scientists even have a name for it: water chauvinism.
And this isn't some brand new radical idea. The one and only Carl Sagan was talking about this decades ago. He famously said that while he was pretty convinced life would be based on carbon's amazing chemistry, he was way more open-minded about it using something other than water to get the job done. So what we're seeing is this really fundamental shift in strategy. On one hand, you have the traditional Earth-centric search. That's all about finding another Earth, basically, planets with liquid water and familiar conditions. But on the other hand, you have this new agnostic search, which is about looking for the fundamental signatures of life itself, no matter what it's made of. All right, so if we take off our watercolored glasses, what do we see? What are the alternatives? Well, it turns out the universe has a whole menu of other liquids that could, potentially, host some very strange life. Get this, on Saturn's moon Titan, there are actual lakes and rivers of liquid methane. It's incredibly cold, yeah. We're talking minus 180 degrees Celsius, but it's a stable liquid. Then you've got things like liquid ammonia, which might exist in subsurface oceans on icy worlds. And believe it or not, even concentrated sulfuric acid is being considered as a possibility in places like the clouds of Venus. Okay, so this is all really cool, but it creates a huge problem. If we're not just following the water anymore, what do we follow? Our old playbook is out the window. We need a whole new set of tools to look for what scientists are calling agnostic biosignatures. And this gets us to the absolute heart of the matter. What is the one thing that all life, no matter its chemistry, must do? It must be able to evolve. Darwinian evolution. And for that to happen, you need one critical component, a molecule that can store and pass on information, something that does the job of our DNA. This leads us to a truly revolutionary idea, the polyelectrolyte theory of the gene. It sounds complicated, but stick with me. Here's the problem it solves. For a genetic molecule to evolve, it has to stay dissolved. But what if changing its genetic code, evolving, accidentally makes it insoluble? It would just clump up and become useless. The proposed solution is so elegant, a repeating electrical charge all along the molecule's backbone, kind of like what our own DNA has. This charge acts like a built-in life jacket, forcing the molecule to stay dissolved no matter what information it carries. That structure is called a polyelectrolyte, and it might just be a universal requirement for life in any polar solvent. And that is the absolute game changer. Suddenly, we don't have to look for something as specific as DNA. We can just look for any long-chain molecule that has that repeating charge. Finding that would be a massive chemical signpost, a billboard flashing, "Something here is capable of evolution." That is a true agnostic biosignature.
So what this all really comes down to is broadening our imagination. It's about scientists recognizing that the only example of life we have, the one right here, might just be one instrument in a vast and diverse cosmic orchestra.
Following the water was a brilliant first step. It got us on the right path. But it may not be the whole journey. By learning to look for life as it could be, instead of just life as we know it, we open up the real possibility that the most profound discovery in human history is waiting for us, right now, in a place we never even thought to look.